Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Kentucky Route Zero, where today we are probably actually getting onto Kentucky Route Zero. But before we do that, I want to do one more thing. I feel like we've been pretty thorough. I think we've seen all of the things around here that there are to see. But just out of curiosity, out of a desire for mechanical understanding, I'm gonna drive us back to Equus Oils, and we're gonna see if it gives us a new scene title card, just because I'm really curious if that's how it works. It probably doesn't matter at all, but curiosity killed the Conway. Wait, that would be a good reason not to do this thing? Okay, yeah, it's just every time we go to a major location, it's going to call it a new scene. Which, is technically not wrong, really. I guess, like, if you were to think about the thing, if you were to try to transpose a Let's Play into a dramatic form. Oh, or maybe it's because there actually is something different happening here? Who is this? Is he carrying a whole lot of antlers there? A man with a large pair of antlers slung over his shoulder is speaking with Joseph. Okay, does he need help? I can help him speak with Joseph. It can be kind of an unsettling experience sometimes. And that's only a few miles outside of Hodgenville anyway. I don't think you could do much better for accessibility, and they got that new gas station if folks get lost. But maybe they should feel lost, Joseph. Just as lost then as we always... let me try that again. Just as lost then as we are always already lost. Just like the poor itinerant Silas, wandering the road, looking for a home. Well, that's a way to look at it, I guess. Oh, hey, hello. I heard that truck rumble on up. How's Blue? Say, maybe you can help this fellow. He's looking for a venue, is how you said it, right? A venue, huh? Well, I know a furniture warehouse you could probably break into. Oh, this isn't some illegal drug party. But I'm obliged you'd stop a moment to help me work this through. Let me explain my charge. I've dedicated my last 12 years to the design and orchestration of my life's great work, a grand, broadly experimental theatrical adaptation of The Death of the Hired Man by Robert Frost. How do you mean, experimental? Well, drama is really my second love. My higher calling is pseudoscience. You know, that's a thing I've literally never heard anybody say before. I mean, listen, there's a lot of people whose calling is pseudoscience, but usually they just call it science. Yep, pseudoscience. Oh, pseudoscience is the eternally fruitful marriage of whimsy and process that has yielded such poetic specimens as astrology, phrenology, canals on Mars, and homeopathic medicine. I hope I have the time to explain how my pseudoscientific theory poetics find expression in this play, but for now I am in a delirious rush. The event is to be performed tomorrow morning, just before dawn. But in the spirit of tragedy, our venue fell through at the last moment. I've been out all day driving the highways looking for a replacement, eyes fastened to the landscape like a hawk scouring the field. So like a hawk, in fact, that I've failed to keep an eye on my gas meter. I'm here waiting for the tow truck to bring my car so I can get back at the task. Well, I don't mind keeping an eye out for a spot. I'm on a drive anyway, and I'm very thorough at it. Oh, if you have attention to spare, I'd be grateful. Somewhere outdoors, somewhere intimate, somewhere tragic. Not meaning to sound judgmental, but in the middle part of America, there's kind of a lot of places that fit that description. Joseph, do you know anything more about this guy? Is there any new information here? Oh, actually, yeah. Do you know where an old mine is around here? I have a very important series of questions to ask somebody. Well, around here? I guess not. Oh, unless you're thinking of the old Elkhorn mine. That's over northeast here on Hardyville. But you can't get in there anymore. It's all fenced up. They had an accident. Okay, see, that's good information there. We drove around looking for a mine, couldn't find it, but then we went back and asked, and now I bet we can find it. This is reinforcing to us that I just need to go back and talk to people when I don't know what's up. Let's see if we can follow some of these other questions. I met your friend Weaver. Huh. Now, you say you met her. She was there. Yeah, she was there. You sound surprised. No, I guess I'm not surprised. It's good that you met her. I knew the Marquez family years ago when Weaver was a young girl, and her parents were studying local folk songs. Smart family. Well, some of them are smart, and the rest are wise, if you know what I mean. They hit some trouble a while back, and it kind of tore them all up. But, everyone hits trouble at some point or another. Well, not everyone, but most of us do. I wonder if the trouble he's talking about here is responsible for the Marquez tombstone in that the little graveyard. Hey, if you see Weaver Marquez again, tell her I'm sorry about her aunt and uncle, and I hope I'll be seeing her soon. So yeah, that could very well be the aunt and or uncle. Was there another thing there that we really needed to say? I guess I could just say here I am. Yep, I'm hard at work, as you can see. Now don't distract me. You like your work? Well, it's better than being in a ditch. Ha! I bet you always say that, like a reflex. It is not the first time we've had the option. When people ask about my work, I always say it's pretty okay. That way I don't have to think about it. That's unusually honest. Okay, let's go see about that mine, and also, I guess, keep an eye out for a place where a play might be performed. Conway does not, in fact, want to stay any longer. It's not really that I don't want to stay, it's just that I do want to go. Slightly different, but I suppose leads to the same place. So did that create a note in our field notes here? Looks like maybe not. Yeah, it didn't actually create a note for the mine, which makes me think that probably I can't actually find it yet. And it's a real shame that it didn't create a note, because I don't remember what he said. He definitely said northeast of here. I'm kind of curious. Listen, I should clarify something right now. This whole thing's going to be real thorough and slow-paced, so apologies if that's not exactly the pace you were looking for. But this seems like the kind of game where one ought to wander a bit. And also, it's just kind of how I do things. So I'm kind of curious if there will be anything more with Weaver now that we talked to Joseph again. He expressed some surprise that we had seen her. I mean, it's not impossible that she's the Marquez tombstone, and he's surprised we saw her because she's a ghost. And that's definitely, like, in fitting with a certain kind of Americana road story, but I might be jumping to a weird conclusion on that one. Bukowski, Padilla, Marquez, yeah. I'm gonna keep checking every time we come back here, waiting for some kind of spooky thing to have happened. They all just say Conway, oh no! Also, there's a hook hanging off of one of them that looks like it used to be someone's hand. No, I guess nothing new. I wish we got a little bit more detail on the tombstones. It could be that one of the other names, or maybe even both of the other names, are Weaver's aunt and uncle. Because, if it's... I don't know. It's possible that we're not supposed to be able to make anything out of the 3 different names. Anyway, I guess it's probably about time we actually get on the Zero, huh? Or at least test the off-ramp. See if we can get on, or if something's going to be in our way. I gotta pay more attention when people tell us directions. Alright, this is all the same, it looks like. Yeah. I think it's probably time to just head in here. Let's at least have a look. Elkhorn Valley. Is that where he said the mine was? Man, I'm bad at remembering stuff. I have a notebook. I'm gonna keep a notebook. In future episodes, we'll just keep it nearby. Hey, let's talk to the dog. This place is a little creepy. Conway brushes some dirt off Blue's hat. How's it going, Blue? You know, I am not sure that lady was right about the on-ramp to the Zero being here. That's not really what this is, I don't think. I'd better look around, though. Must be down here somewhere. Yeah, I don't think she was, like... I don't think she was trying to mislead us. I think something else is happening. Let's take our time and check this out thorough, okay? I think that's agreement. I think that was a rise of agreement. So what even is this? It's like an observation deck? Why would there be... I don't know. I wonder if we should have tried to go back to some of the places we've been before to see if they would be suitable as venues for a play. Well, who knows? Maybe the mine will turn out to be a good one. I've never seen a play in a mine before, but doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad idea. Shannon speaks into a large brick cell phone held up to her ear. I emphasized that kind of weird and made it sound like it's a cell phone made out of a brick rather than, you know, one of those big ones that's kind of shaped like a brick. Okay, what do we think Shannon's talking about? She's probably talking about something important, right? Shannon seems like the kind of person who has a lot of important work to do. Yeah, you know, it is kind of an emergency. Ooh, what kind of emergency is it? But can I trust him not to just change the locks? I really appreciate the way that, like, the way they're giving us a hand here. The way they're allowing us to take a hand, I should say, in the shape of the narrative. I wonder how much effect these choices have, though, on what actually transpires. Yeah, okay, you're right. Is she upset with the person she's talking to? I think she's upset about something, clearly. But not with this person. Okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Love you. Shannon hangs up the phone and puts it away. That's the first time we've gotten to make a decision for a character other than Conway, though, right? Oh, in fact, we're totally just Shannon now. Excuse me, ma'am. I saw the light was on and I'm looking for the on-ramp to... Hey, do you believe in ghosts? Well, let's see. I do believe a place can be haunted, if that's what you mean. Well, okay, but what about a person? Can a person be haunted? Sure, I guess a person could. Sometimes I feel haunted myself. What haunts you? Well, bad decisions, I guess. Wasted youth. I mean, look. Here's what it is. I drive deliveries for a shop called Lisette's Antiques, and I'm out trying to finish this job. You're making a delivery to the mine? Oh, well, no. I have a delivery for 5 Dogwood Drive, and I can't remember ever seeing that address before. Now I heard I need to take a highway called the Zero. So I met this young lady named Weaver Marquez, and she sent me this way, so here I am. Uncommon kind of place for an on-ramp, but that's what it's been like so far, anyway, with... Wait, what? Weaver Marquez? Do you know her? It's going to shift me from side to side of the conversation. That's a little strange. Yeah. So you saw her tonight. I know Weaver. She's my cousin. I'm Shannon Marquez. Yeah, she was. Okay, so maybe it is her grave. Oh, you're the one who fixes televisions. Yeah, that's right. Did she tell you that too? Oh, of course she did. Weaver doesn't lie. One time when we were younger, she told me my dad had been in a terrible car wreck. There was crushed metal everywhere, and we'd been hearing it echo through the house for years, she said. I was very upset, crying, and then my dad walked in the door, just come back from a trip to the junkyard collecting scrap metal to fashion wind chimes. I was angry, but she said it wasn't a joke and it wasn't a lie. At the time, I thought she meant like as a riddle or a puzzle. But Weaver's not a puzzle, she's a mystery. Okay, we're going to change the subject a little bit. It's hard to know what to say to a thing like that. So maybe the Zero is down here somewhere then. Well, maybe it is. Well, I wouldn't mind the company. I've got business down here myself. I talked to Weaver earlier this evening too. Or anyway, she talked to me. It's hard to tell if she's listening sometimes. You know, I got that feeling from her as well. Weaver told me I had to come down to the old Elkhorn mine. She said I'd find something I've been looking for. And what are you looking for? I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I have a few ideas. I'll know it when I see it. It's not such a bad thing, you showing up now. All told, I'd rather not go down there alone. Your dog should stay up here, though. It's no place for a dog. This is an old mine. It runs pretty deep and tangled. If we're going to go down into it, find your on-ramp and whatever else, we got to keep our bearings. I do not want to get turned around. I've got some gear here to measure conductivity, frequency response, stuff like that. Maybe we can find a way to put a signal out up ahead, do some analysis, and figure out what kind of topology we're up against. Topology. Okay. I think we're developing a character trait for Conway here. When someone says something to him he's not sure about, he just repeats it like he's agreeing with him. Topology? That's the science of continuous space, my friend. The way this twisty maze of passages fits together. Okay, well, sorry, Blue, you're getting left out of the adventure one more time. Or maybe not. Maybe he's coming with us. Or she's coming with us, rather. Man, the staging of this game, like with the foreground elements and stuff, there's something about it that's, like, somewhat unsettling. I know it's a simple little thing, but definitely creating in me a sense of unease. Nothing over here to play with. Oh, I should mention, I wanted to bring this up at the beginning of the episode, but I forgot. While I was looking around in the menus and trying to make sure that my game was saving, because there is no save button anywhere, I saw some stuff that I thought I ought to show you in case you're... No, wait, not this. In case you're unfamiliar with the game, just to sort of establish a feeling. There's a multiplayer button in the options menu, and I was like, well, how could this possibly be multiplayer? Maybe it does some, like, streaming stuff? But no, the multiplayer instructions are, play until you encounter something. An image, a sound, a choice of words, a notable absence that reminds you of someone else in the room. Then pass control of the game to that person. You don't have to explain yourself. And so on. I think that's a good tone piece, helping you really understand where the game is coming from. There was another one in here somewhere. Show controls. I mean, the fact that the buttons at the bottom of this thing are remember and forget also. You have a couple options here. Now you could use a mouse, our recommendation, if you're playing surreptitiously at your desk. Or you can use a keyboard, or you can use a gamepad. Whatever you've chosen, take your instrument in both hands. Just sit and feel the weight of it for a moment. It's nice, right? It melts right into your muscles. It looks good on you. You're a natural. I should mention you could scroll this window using the mouse wheel, or, with keyboard controls enabled, page up and page down keys. So, what's next? What's up to you? But here are some things to try, and then, just some basics. It's a weird thing. The whole game is kind of a weird thing, but I really appreciate their commitment to the tone they're going for. I hope that helps. There's something else I wanted to tell you, but I can't seem to remember what it was. Oh, I'm sure it's not important. Basically, I'm way into it. That runs into the mine's PA system. Do you think it still works? It seems unlikely that it would still work, and also the little light on the front of it is off. Oh, well, there's no power. Yeah, okay. Even when this old mine was up and running, it was tricky to keep stuff powered. The miners used to have to pay just to run the fans and the lights. Yeah, they got paid in these shitty little plastic tokens. Coal scrip, And if you want to run the fans for a bit to clear the air up, well, you gotta put a token in. My parents used to work here, and so did Weaver's parents. I guess a lot of folks' parents worked here. Well, do you think we could power it up? Because I'm a little nervous about that clearing the air up thing. I bet we just have to free up some power for the PA system. Everything's rationed. Here, set up that lamp of yours and I'll go unplug these ceiling lights. I'm a little nervous about let's unplug the ceiling lights. But I'm gonna try to think of a clever way to express that where it's not just about me being nervous. I heard the speakers back here crackle a bit. It's on now, right? Try saying something into the mouthpiece. Shoot, I should have thought of something clever to say. Come on, say something. So we're down here. Okay, I hear you. We need to measure the echo delay time and figure out how deep the tunnels run. Just make some noises into the mouthpiece. It feels like the smart thing to do here would be to make like a clear... tapping the mouthpiece, you're going to have like a clear echo sound coming back. If you make something continuous, like rubbing a lot, it's going to be less effective, right? Okay, we're just going to keep making noises. I'm going to knock on the table. Again, sharp, discrete sounds. Spitting doesn't really make that much noise. I guess you can make an awful lot of noise when you spit, but if you do, it's real gross. Whistle. Wow, that's a hell of a whistle. Damn, that's a long delay. These tunnels run deep. I bet some of them have ruptured or joined up with a cave system. Alright, I set up my spectrum analyzer, so just say something into the mouthpiece and we can get a sense for how narrow the mine tunnels are. Don't be shy, just say anything that comes into your head. Tell me a story about something. Or what did you have for breakfast today? Well, I had breakfast at a real weird diner. Oh, maybe I had breakfast with Lisette. Now, I'm going to tell a story about myself. I used to work doing roof repair. That's how my voice comes back? My boss got this real big job out in Louisville. It seemed like a big project, but doable. But I was too hungover, and we ran late. Okay, got it. Looks like the tunnels are pretty cramped. Yeah, low ceilings. Hope you're ready to stoop a bit. You're probably used to it. One more test. We just need to know if the air is breathable or if it's too thin or too dense. Just sit real close to the mouthpiece and breathe. I'll measure the resonance of your breath with the air in the tunnels. Just try to relax, try to breathe naturally. Boy, that's a tough thing to do when you're thinking about it. Let's think about the road. If we think about relaxing and breathing, I will never be able to breathe in a way that sounds natural. Conway breathes and remembers a moment earlier in the day, because he's had some weird moments today, and probably some of them are still on his mind. Getting some pretty strong readings here. I think we're in good shape, but keep at it for a minute. Conway breathes and visualizes a hot meal. That might be some of me coming through there. Conway breathes and relaxes as a peal of feedback and loose rock engulfs him. Yeah, that's some pretty severe feedback. Seemed like kind of a lot of rock. I mean, I guess there's a lot of rock in a mine, but... Are we okay? Did I manage to kill us? Jesus, are you alright? What the hell? Yeah, I'm okay. Alright, I've got you. You're alright. Shit, your leg is pinned. I'm gonna pull you out. We have to get you out of here. There you go. Okay, are you hurt? Can you put any weight on that leg? It was a lot of rock. I have to imagine it's all messed up. Now here, let's get you onto the tram. There you go. Now, let's see if this thing has power. Well, okay, there's some luck, right? We should be able to ride this tram right out one of the auxiliary exits. If there are any. I think there are. Well, you know what? I think I can walk. No way. You need to stay off that leg or you'll just do more damage. We'll just find the exit and then figure out what to do from there. That's our first priority. To be clear, I think Conway probably shouldn't walk on the leg, but I feel like Conway's the kind of guy who would want to make it seem like it's not a big deal. So, the controls are over on your side. Let's get moving. Okay, how I controls? Oh, I gotta wait for her to get on. That would be the polite thing to do, I suppose. Oh, nope, keep that on. Do you think those rules for being underground that we read in the basement of the Equus Oils are for being underground there or being underground in general? Can we interact with that in any way? It doesn't look like it. The fact that I have a button for turning off the lights kind of makes me feel like there might be a good reason to turn off the lights, but it's hard for me to imagine a reason that I would want to. Also, is that a little bird cage? I guess for the canaries, huh? Is that a real thing? I guess I'm realizing I don't know a whole lot about mines. I have no idea if that canary in the coal mine thing is actually true or if that's some folklore nonsense. We've got a turntable here, so we could turn the track. Should we? Also, it's really hard to get this thing to just move a little bit. Kind of curious what happens if we turn the lights off. Okay, that's probably not anything important. I saw movement and I got nervous. I guess let's turn it? I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, here we are. This may be hard to believe. I mean, it's hard for me to believe myself. But this whole branch was underwater last I heard. Well, how did that happen? Now, some careless miner or some unattended machine bored through into an underground lake. The water came in pretty fast, and a lot of folks got trapped in the tunnels. I only heard parts of how it went from there. It was sanitized for the bereaved. You know how these big companies are. But there was gossip, too. The trapped miners couldn't get the pumps going because the power was rationed, so they shut all the lights off. But even then it wasn't enough. So I guess it was dark when they... Ooh, you lost some people down here, didn't you? Well, we all lost people down here. Well, not all of us, but most of us. It doesn't matter now. Look, this old turntable's still wired up. The controls are dead, but I can use my signal generator to switch tracks, if the water hasn't damaged it too much. Or we could just keep heading down this tunnel. And all this junk hanging up around the turntable is from the company store. It's just junk, you know? The miners would buy it and use it to decorate the place, or as landmarks, I guess. Hard to know which way is which down here. It's all so dim and gray. So it's possible that the debris around us will function as landmarks, I guess. Shannon connects 2 clip leads from her signal generator to the turntable's electrical panel. We're on the track between the animal bones and the rowboat, so... yeah, which way do we want to go here? Boy. Alright. If I'm a miner, and I'm trying to leave a signal behind that I myself can follow, even if I forget what the signal was, which way leads to an auxiliary exit? Probably not the casket, right? Let's go Batfeeder and the Scarecrow. Although I guess the Batfeeder you'd want to put... Bats live deep in the caves? Man, I don't know anything about mines. Alright, well, we made a choice. Let's just see where it goes. This is going down. That's probably a bad sign. The tracks are all messed up here. This tram isn't going any further. I wonder what's down that tunnel. I also wonder what's down that tunnel. Okay, it really, really won't let me go. It was worth a shot. You know, here's the thing. I can totally walk. We could just go check it out. For real, though. Let's try to find a way out of here. I do not much care for underground spaces. Personally, I'd be real nervous down here. Alright, well... Let's try the pendulum in the casket. We didn't actually try just going down the animal bones and rowboat path. Let's try pendulum in the casket, though. Maybe the casket's like it's like black humor. Or maybe they don't mean anything at all, or maybe there's some kind of weird rhyming slang that's, you know... How's a man to know? How's a man to know what these signs might mean? Ooh, I just had a really strong moment of deja vu. Weird. This one is also going down. I mean, I guess it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not a way out. It could just be that there's an auxiliary exit that's lower on the other side of the mountain or something. A dusty reel-to-reel tape player is stashed beneath the track, loaded with tape, but starved for power. Huh. Well, I mean, can we get it? Could I get Shannon to grab that? I mean, obviously, we're not going to be able to take the thing any further here. We do anything with it? I'd at least like to, take the tape. Maybe figure out what it says somewhere else, at a different tape player that is less starved. So I'm in this game for a sort of a languorous journey, and I hope that you all are into that too. Part of this business, the deal of Let's Playing, makes it... There's a weird tension with games that are slow and quiet and doing this thing, and I'm going to try to resist, to some degree, my natural urge to fill the space with noise, because I think that, probably, the game wants you to not always be filling the space with noise. But forgive me if I talk nervously sometimes, which I've already done more than once here. Well, I guess let's try just going forward on the Animal Bones and Rowboat path. Turns out maybe we shouldn't have touched it at all. Maybe it was fine in the first place. Okay, up. Up seems like a good design. I wonder, though, if we had actually just gone forward at first without trying to turn it, I wonder if this would have been the path up. Ah, thank God, okay. Yeah, let's go. I think we've seen everything there is to see down here. Yeah, okay. That tunnel where the tracks were broken, I'd like to take a look down there. So it looks like no matter what we say, it's going to have the same outcome. It's interesting that it gives us the choice of whether to have Conway basically, like, the deal here is, does Conway say that he's okay with that or not? I think he does. I think, do whatever you need. I'll just wait for you here. Yeah, thanks. I'll be right back. I think Conway would not want her to feel like he's getting in her way. Slowly we sketch out the character of Conway. Oh, I was picking which character I was going to play as, maybe. A paper tag hangs from the birdcage by a string. Canary, 25 tokens. Canaries sold at the company store? Did they also sell respirators? There's no bones in the cage. The bird must have been set free. Or maybe the cage was cleaned. There are cardinals at the Louisville Zoo, and other birds. Ostriches, eagles, emus. No canaries, though. Too common? Too small, maybe. But they have starlings. Starlings aren't much bigger than canaries. And I mean, we just gonna sit here? Guess we're just gonna sit here. A pile of tape reels is jammed into the top of the tram. They must have been thrown on in a rush. The reels are unlabeled, and the tape is decayed. Lisette and Ira's son, Charlie, talked about a piece of music he liked made with old decaying tapes. What was it called? It was something about... Charlie had the most bizarre taste in music. Weird, noisy computer music. Where did he even hear that stuff? Louisville, probably. Or college. He was a smart kid. It's a damn pity. I sort of wish I'd had Shannon speak, because I'm very curious what was down there. Wonder if we're going to get to find out. The notebook at the top of this dusty stack is labeled in black marker. The label is dusty and smudged, but it looks like it might say horses? Or houses, maybe. Or verses, even? Crude and hurried handwriting, too. You know, Lisette has immaculate handwriting. Pristine and measured cursive. Never a stray mark. For the last several months, she filled out the receipts for each order, since that young couple complained about the handwriting on the order slip. It's carbon paper anyway, it's bound to wear away over time. They're so precise about their records, they should just put it on the computer anyway. You know, I'm realizing, I'm not actually sure when this game takes place. Apparently I have the option of just leaving. I don't feel like I shouldn't, though. We should wait for Shannon, right? I don't seem to have any other interaction options at the moment, though. Turn the light off. Which, for some reason, gets rid of the exit prompt. I wonder. Like, it's certainly possible that she comes back if you just wait for long enough. This is one of those Let's Play things, right? Like, I'm nervous to just sit here and wait in front of the audience, but if it was just me playing this on my own, I would probably wait for quite a while. To be perfectly honest with you, I'd probably tab out and do something on the other monitor while I waited. I think we'll just click exit here. I feel like I've waited long enough that it's reasonable. You know, with us sitting and having our little internal monologue and everything. Wait. Well, turns out my leg's okay. Hey, stranger. Did you find what you were looking for? I'm gonna not draw attention to the fact that I didn't wait for her. Yeah, maybe. Look, we're not gonna talk about that anymore, okay? Oh, fair enough. How's the leg? Well, I can walk on it, but it's slow. Well, I'll try not to get too far ahead of you. You don't mind my hitching a ride, do you? I kinda got a lift out here, wasn't sure if, or when, I'd be heading back. I could drive. I can handle it. I think Conway would be nervous about her driving his truck. Okay, your decision. You know, I still need to find the zero. Well, it's like I told you, Weaver doesn't lie. If she sent you here to find your on-ramp, this is where you should be looking. Or maybe you just weren't listening closely enough and that's not exactly what she said? Okay. Listen, I feel a little bit personally called out here by Shannon, but it's in the notebook. It must be right. I saw Weaver at my workshop. That's up by Lake Nolan, right at Wax and Peonia in the back of a bait shop. It's pretty glamorous, right? These are the times we live in. She's either up there or back at the farmhouse. Whichever you want to head to first, just let me know. I mean, I'm gonna assume that there's nothing else for us to do here, probably. Also, it is definitely cumbersome to wander around now in a way that it wasn't before, so mayhap we should just go to the truck. Come on, Blue. Let's get out of here. Wait. I should explain to Blue what happened. Blue, this is Shannon. Nice to meet you, Blue. It just seems like the polite thing to say. Listen, if you want to make friends with a dog, there's really just the one way to do it. Got some dried banana slices in my bag. Would you like one? Now, you take care of your friend here, and there's more where that came from. Why would she have them in her bag if she didn't really like them, right? Why would that be the snack you packed? I guess again, these are the times we live in. Maybe she has limited options. So this is tell Shannon to drive. This is me drive. I think Conway wants to drive. You know, it's his truck. Not in the sense that, like, he's territorial about it, but in the sense that it's his responsibility. I think let's go back to where we saw Weaver. I think that makes the most sense. That's also where the TV is. Weaver did want us to talk to Shannon about that TV. Although I'm not convinced that anything that was wrong with the TV is necessarily fixable by human hands. I'm also kind of curious. Let's just drive around a little bit until we see one of those areas pop up again. Because I'm kind of curious if we actually do have the option of... Like, if it matters, if we actually go someplace and look for a venue for the play. In a mechanical sense. Where was that church with the tape recorder? It was around here, right? Yeah. Alright, we're gonna go inside. Enter the church's back door. We're not gonna unplug the thing. This is all the same text, yeah. Okay, well, we walked inside. I mean, we didn't have any new options, like, to survey the place. I'm wondering if I will now be able to potentially tell that guy whose name I've already forgotten that maybe this church would be a good place. It probably would be, right? Probably better than the mine, anyway. Or that furniture store. I don't remember which one was the furniture store. Was that the one where we were tearing through the walls? We definitely went to two places that seemed like abandoned stores, right? I don't know. Let's stop by Equus and see if we can talk to him about it again. Ooh, wait. That's a thing we hadn't seen before. Oh, apparently something kind of important. The glass bottles. This is what Joseph was talking about. My leg is really not doing so hot. Wait, are those caskets? Or coffins? Is there a difference? I am not allowed to walk out of the headlights. I guess that's good road safety? Conway shakes his head. Ah, what a mess, huh? Think anyone was hurt? This looks like a tough one to walk away from. Also, there are already coffins here. It's ominous at the very least. It's weird that I don't have the option of talking to Shannon about it. We can talk to the dog. So, these are bits of tire, right? Did a little bit of forensics about the crash, so the car veers off, and then you get your overcorrection, and... They probably ought to call somebody. Yeah, I think I'm ready to leave. It doesn't seem like we have any other interaction options here. I mean, what do you think is the story there? What kind of truck would be carrying caskets and also what look like bottles of alcohol? That's pretty strange. I mean, maybe it was more than one vehicle. But there weren't tire tracks indicating more than one vehicle, I don't think. Oh, dude's gone. Hey, Joseph. Where'd your friend go? I was going to talk to him about a thing. Yeah, let's have Shannon answer. Oh, that sounds like one of the Marquez ladies. Well, I know it's not Remedios. She's back out in Knoxville these days, so... Hello, Shannon. How's the economy treating you? You know, it's not great, honestly. It seems not to be. But we're looking for something. My friend's looking for the Zero. Do you know how to get there? Oh, yeah, that old delivery driver. What do you think of that guy, anyway? Just between us. Yeah, just between us. You know, sometimes I think he's half asleep at the wheel. But who among us, right? Well, he's no spring chicken, but also the road can do that. It's hypnotic. Puts you into a kind of a highway fugue. I've had customers through here couldn't say a word. I swear they were sleepwalking. If you've never had to drive a long, long way on the highway, you might not know that's definitely a real thing. Well, it's like I told him. I can't get you folks to the zero, but I bet you can get there, especially now with the two of you. Yeah. Did the other guy go inside, maybe? You know, I'm actually kind of curious. I want to go down into the basement. If it turns out that Weaver Marquez is in fact a ghost, then we got reason to think there are ghosts. That certainly explains some of the things I'm not allowed to go back into the basement, huh? Well, alright. I guess I won't then. I feel like I should get a, I don't know, we should fashion a makeshift crutch or something? He really does not look like he's doing well. Alright, like I said, back to the farm. Maybe, at the very least, if Weaver's not there again, maybe Shannon can tell us what's up with that TV. I'm a little nervous about what might happen here, though, if I'm being honest. And it is going to take a minute, though, huh? For us to walk up to the farmhouse now with my leg like this. This sort of thing is sort of what I was talking about when I was saying that I bet the game wouldn't want us to just fill all the space with noise. There's definitely an intentional contemplativeness. Oh, wait, am I not allowed to... Okay, he needs help. I wonder if that was triggered by us trying to climb the slope, or if that would have happened, like, after taking a certain number of steps with my leg messed up. She just decides that's enough. Yeah, let's talk to her about the graveyard. There's nobody buried here, you know. It's decorative, I guess? Or it's art or something? I don't know. Sorry, a decorative graveyard? Weaver's folks were like that. Not morbid, I mean, but strange, careless with tragic ideas. Oh, and look at that headstone. Marquez. I used to think that was for my parents. Now, I don't know. Yeah, that is definitely slightly more unsettling. Why would that be more unsettling? Why does that bother me? The idea of a decorative graveyard, of there not actually being anyone in there. Shouldn't that be less creepy? You know, we did see a car here, in front of the house, the first time we walked by. Is that a ghost car? Is that a thing? So, this is where she was? Yeah, that makes sense. This was where Weaver and her parents lived. They took out a bunch of loans, you know, and had this place built. Do you have any debts? Well, I mean, it's America. I never really had any collateral. There's something to be said for that, I guess. You don't have to anymore. That's... Listen, I never really had any collateral either, and yet, here we are. My parents were like that, until the company store found a way to get to them. For my dad, it was tokens to run the fans and air purifiers, and for my mom, it was the canaries. Two solutions to the same problem, but they sure sounded different. Weaver had debt too, a lot of it, all tuition. Yeah, she said she was a mathematician or something. Yeah, she studied some esoteric stuff about, something about using math to translate between Spanish and English. I think eventually Weaver put those math skills to work on all the red numbers in the family checkbook and got a clear sense of just how hopeless the situation was. So she left. I guess she just drove away in the middle of the night. They woke up in the morning and the car was gone. Never came back. That's curious. Until tonight. You know, someone else told me to come here and talk to her. Huh. Okay. I guess then we two aren't the only ones she's been talking to. Oh, that's not something you see every day. That old TV right there. Well, that is a damned antique for you. I had a model like that in the shop once, but I had to sell it off to make rent. Most painful decision I ever made. Say, do you mind if I open it up? It looks like all the dials are corroded. The screen's leaking light a bit. Come on, I bet Lisette would never forgive you for letting a specimen like that fall into disrepair. Well, I mean, it's not really mine anyway. So sure, have at it. I wasn't really thinking about it when she started talking about how it's weird that I saw Weaver. But yeah, then it's super weird that Joseph knew that we'd be able to meet Weaver. Oh yeah, these tubes are all messed up. Looks like they've been in a swamp or a cave or something. There's moss growing on this one. Oh, that's okay. I have a few spares in my bag here. Here, I pulled this one out of an old computer monitor. Just needs to be recalibrated a bit. Okay, so that does give us some indication of when we are. Okay, that oughta... should be seeing something now. Are you seeing anything? Hey, that looks dangerous, what you're doing there. Damn, okay. Here, I think the contacts are dirty. Now, don't go telling my customers I clean off old vacuum tubes with spit. Alright, there. Just gotta turn it north-south, and... oh. Well, I guess we found it? Man, that's unsettling, huh? There's definitely a tone that this thing has. Really, wow. It was not very long. There's definitely a tone that this thing has that... I'm trying to think of how to put this into words. Obviously, we're not going to go and jump into another chapter here, 53 minutes into the recording. But maybe I need to think about this a little bit more and come back to you at the beginning of the next episode with my thoughts in some kind of order. I'll just call it here for today. Thank you all so much for watching. That was chapter 1. It looks like there's a little interlude between each act. So come back next time tomorrow for some limits and demonstrations. And we'll see you then.